Hello. How's everyone doing tonight? This is Sandy from Ledoux Designs. I missed you guys. I guess it is a little bit too far this way. How's everybody doing? So tonight I decided we would play with the curious kittens. They're feeling very curious tonight. That's perfect. Thank you. But I wanted to color that. I wanted to color the one that we're going to do in a patchwork kind of color. So I guess we're going to be playing with patches tonight because, you know, that's just cute. What can I say? So I think we're going to go with this little curious kitten right here. Only we're not going to color the kitten black. We're going to color the kitten with like a patchwork coloring. So cute. I really want to use this mouse too. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't know what how it's going to look when we get done. But I do know that we're going to use this paper pack, which is the new Wags and Whiskers. And I'm going to use the one that has meow on it like this. So cute, right? Catnip. And then we're also going to use the back as well. So we're going to actually use more than one sheet. So I have a couple of them pulled out, some scraps and a couple of pieces of paper. And then here's my little kitten already stamped and cut out so that we wouldn't have to do that on the live. I also stamped and cut out the cat's meow, which is from the stamp set, and we're going to use that. And then we're going to make a cute little notepad to put our little kitten on. So we have this whole process to do as well. I don't think the kitten will take us too long to color, and so I wanted to do a project with it. It's so strange there's no one here, isn't it? Is it Tuesday night?
Beth's watching.
It is Tuesday night. Oh, hey, Beth. I was like, there's no one here. That's so bizarre. But there we go. Now people are finding us. So I should probably recap, huh?
She made an order, so we'll get that together and get it out in the mail tomorrow.
Oh, okay, cool. So, Beth, can you comment hello just so I can make sure I can see your comments? I know Dale commented, but I just want to make sure that I can see yours. There we go. Hey, Beth, I'm happy to see you. I'm going to use my new sticky mat this time so I can make sure the cat will stay where it's supposed to stay, because we're going to be doing we're going to be making our cat black and brown and tan, and yeah, we're going to mix all the colors up so that we can give our cat somewhat of a unique look. So I will show you. I haven't made a card with this one, but we're going to color it up like this. So we're going to have all different colors on our little kitty. So I thought that would be a neat technique for you guys to see. It is not hard to do, but it will be super, super helpful to know how to do it. And then, of course, there's the papers that we talked about a little bit ago. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I am going to make sure there's enough light here for me to see what I'm doing. Okay, so this is just a Dollar Tree sticky mat. You guys who watch often know that I always use these. So I'm just going to move the little plastic coating down a little bit and leave it on top of that. Just enough for us to put our little cat on here. Oh, I didn't give myself quite enough room. Let's go down just a little bit more so that we have enough. I want enough room to put the cat all the way on there so it sticks very nicely. So I love these little sticky mats. They're super cheap. You can get them at the Dollar Tree or $1.25 tree, whatever you want to call it. I also think we might wobble our little our little cat. I got a new set of wobblers while I was at the expo show. It was so fun. I had a really good time. I took 3 classes and made some new stuff and bought a ton of stuff, of which I'm going to do a video on YouTube to show you guys all the cool crafty stuff I got. These are the colors we're going to use tonight for the cat's patchwork. So T7, T4, E2723, E53, E21, and E51. I know it's a lot of colors, but it will all come together nicely. Hey, Cheryl, I'm so happy to see you pop on. I am good. I'm still a little tired. Taking me a while to recoup from the trip, but, and these are the colors that we're going to use for the pink areas. So like the cat's nose and ears. So R11, T1, and T3. Hey, Mom. I'm happy to see you on here, too. I did not pick the color for the eyes, but I'm assuming I probably want to do them so that they match the paper. So we will do it in some form of this really pretty BG color. Teal-ish, if you will. I could have done purple, but I really like this patchwork kitten with the teal. So, okay, here we go. We're going to zoom in so we can see our little kitty. We need to be able to see it up close because we're going to do some coloring. But the cool part is that this kitten is tiny. I mean, not tiny, tiny. It's clearly 2 by whatever. But it is fairly small, so it shouldn't take us too awful long to color, which is kind of what I like about these smaller images. So this cat is actually almost 2 inches by about 1.5 inches. So still pretty small, but big enough to work on a card. So I love that. So we're going to dive right in to color this kitten with... And again, I'll show for those of you who have just popped on, we're going to color it in different pattern colors like that. So we're going to give it a patch look. So we're going to start with our T7. Let me put in my little Copic holder here. The T7. And what we're going to do is, you can't do anything wrong with this. It's not right or wrong. It's just choose wherever you want the kitten to have some black. So I'm just going to randomly like choose some areas. So I'm going to start with a little bit over here. And you don't want to do it in like a circle or a spot. You just want to add a bit of that black and then just put as much as you want. Just don't put it in a perfect like circle. You want it to be kind of random so that it looks like it fits in with wherever you put it. The more random it is, the better and more realistic it looks. Now, I like to do a little bit in the ears right here where these whiskers are, her little ear whiskers. And then on this side, I'm going to do a little bit out. Not on the whole thing, just in some small areas. Hi, Barbara. And then I'm going to go over to this other ear, and I'm going to put some of it like over here, and then part of this ear. So hang with me. Don't go away. Don't get scared. Don't guess. Just stick around and see how this turns out. It's gonna look pretty funny throughout the entire process, but it will come together in the end, I promise. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit on this back leg area right here. And then I'm gonna put a little bit right in here over the palm of that, over the wrist of that cat. And then I'm going to come over here on this one. I never put them in the same place. Each time that I do it, I always put them in different places. It just makes it more fun. And then I'm going to put a little bit on this back leg, but just a teeny bit, like right in there maybe. I never put it on all the paws. I usually try to keep it like 1 or 2 of the paws and in different places so that, just so it looks more scattered. So I'm going to go put a little bit of this color on this side of the face. And like I said, I don't want it to be just a straight line. And then you can do that around the edges like that, and that part's fairly easy, but we're gonna make one black spot right here on the cat's head because I want you to be able to see that you can do it pretty much anywhere you want when you're creating your design. So it's almost like doing a little bit of artistic design within your cat. So it's kind of fun, not gonna lie. It's kind of fun. I like it. All right, so that was T7. And then I'm going to switch now. I'm just going to let that sit there for a minute. And I'm going to put in our pinks so we can get our pinks in there. And then that way we can soften them if we need to as we're going along. So I definitely want this little kitten to have this really pink nose. So this is my R11. And then I also want to put some pink in the ears, but I don't want both the ears to look exactly the same. How many of you guys got to watch Dale's live? He was so disappointed he couldn't see comments. It gets so frustrating when you can't see comments. Because we want to talk to you guys. That's half the fun of the live. And when you can't, it's like, oh man, I can't see on the live. So it becomes very frustrating for us, and I'm sure for you as well. So don't forget that we are going to be doing, I am going to be doing a live that I will post on YouTube with all the new goodies that I got at the show. It was good. He did 2 cards. You need the cat stamps. I mean, this is so fun. And I love how sneaky this little kitten looks. It makes me laugh. Okay, so that's the R11. And notice I didn't completely fill in the ears. And I also want one ear to look more tan and the other one to look more gray. So we're going to be doing them a little different. And they'll look kind of funny when I start out, but I promise it will come together. So I'm going to do this ear in gray and this ear in tan. So what I want to do is I took T3 and I want to kind of go around the edge to start putting in some of that gray. I'm going to go a little thicker on this side because you can see there's kind of a fold in the ear. So I want to go a little thicker on that side. And then I'm going to start panning this out. And now I'm going to switch to a lighter gray, and I'm going to go over top of that R11 because I want to soften that color. Hi, Diana. So I'm going to soften this color. I'm going to go the other way so I don't pull that dark gray in there. So I have something to ask you guys, and now that we have quite a few people here, I'm going to ask you. I got a request for some coloring of a specific item, and I was thinking maybe I would do like a little series. I'm going to go back in because I have a line here where my T3 is, and I'm going to just pull that out again because I want to make sure I don't have like that big line right there. I may have to put a little bit more pink in there, so I'm going to go back and just added that pink right back in where I had it. And then we're going to go with the T1, and we're just going to soften that up so that our little ear, inside of our ear, will be done. So very soft, very pretty, still looks pink. It's really easy to do. Okay, so I got a request to do like a monochromatic. Do you guys know what that is? Where the whole image is colored either black and white or sepia or even all blue, all green, all, you know. And so I was thinking that we might do something like that. And I was wondering how you guys felt about that. I don't want to lose any of my evening watchers. T4 is what we're going to use next. And the only thing we're going to use this for is to soften the edges of the black we already put on there. So I'm literally going to go right at the edge and just kind of spread that out a little bit further. Now you're going to be able to see that line, and that's okay for right now. We'll soften that up here in a minute. So I'm going to come up here and add a little bit of this gray on this ear as well. Then we're going to soften that, extend this out, but we're not going over and over and over it to soften that color. I want to leave it like that right now. You had to step away. What did you do with the ear? Oh, I put the pink in there along this side, and then I went in with T3 along this side and put some dark color, and then I used T1 to go over the whole thing. Anywho, I had someone request from me. They said they wanted to color like black and white, and they didn't know how to do it, and they were wondering if I would be able to do a live with that kind of coloring. And so I thought maybe we'd take one of our nights. If you guys are really interested, we'll take Tuesday night, but if you're just, yeah, that'll be fine, whatever, then I'll do Thursday night, because more people are here on Tuesday than Thursday. So you guys tell me, do you want to do it, just say Tuesday, Thursday, or no thanks? So I'm just going over all the little gray areas, right? That's our first step. I mean, it already looks cute, but it's definitely not softened yet. We will get to that point. So I'm going to make some of the spots a little bit out a little bit further, just so it doesn't look like it goes in any kind of pattern. There we go. So there we go, and we're getting there. This is not a hard process, and the cool part is you can't really go wrong because it doesn't really matter where you put the color. Tuesday. Okay, we got one vote for Tuesday. Now what we're going to do is we're going to bring in some brown, okay? So this is E27. And what I'm going to do is just choose the areas that I want the darkest brown in. And again, they're very random, so I can put them wherever I want. So I'm going to start on this side. So there's one, and then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do a little bit right up next against this gray that I have already on there. Just put a little bit over there. And then I'm going to extend from this one, just kind of get myself a little bit of it here. I'm going to go along this eye, give a little bit of brown there. Maybe because you can kind of put the brown wherever you want. I mean, no cat is going to look the same. They're all going to have their own unique designs, so you can put it wherever you want. That's the fun part. Now on this side, I'm going to give it a little bit of brown around the bottom here. I'm going to leave that little bottom chin alone for now. I want to just let that one, I want that to be really light, so I'm not going to mess with that. I'm going to put some over here on this paw. But I'm not going to do the whole paw, just part of it. Because, you know, cats always have lots of random colors going on. Over here, I'm going to put just a little bit along my little Patch's paw. And then I'm going to do up close right here with a little bit there. I think I'll put a little bit here. So that's pretty good for that side. I think we need a little bit more on this side. So I'm going to do a little bit right here. Not very much, just a teeny bit. Not really interested, but you know I watch you all the time no matter what is going on for your lives. That's true. And maybe you'll be surprised at some of them because we won't be doing it for a long time. I just think that we could do 1 or 2, maybe 3 at the most, like just to give people an idea of how to do it. We'll pick one color and we'll pick black and white, maybe sepia if we feel like it, but just a couple of sessions I think will be nice. Not for a long time, just small time. Okay, so now I have some brown in there. Now, honestly, you have 18 kittens right now. Holy cow, are they babies? Did your cat have kittens? Wow, that's a lot of kitties. But they're so cute, and I bet none of them look the same. Now we're going to do E23, and we're going to do the same thing that we did with that T4, where we went around and just kind of softened the edge of the gray. We're now going to do that with the brown. Hey, maybe if we get done with this kind of quick, I'll show you the one class I took, what we did, because it was super cool. I think you guys would really like it. I did how to put color on black and white photographs. It was so neat. I really enjoyed it. Very little from 2 mama cats. Oh, wow. That's awesome. I bet they make little tiny noise. Meow. I'm going to add just a little bit of brown up there because I felt like I needed just a teeny bit more. I used to have cats when I was little. We had a cat named Bitsy, and she had a lot of different colors like this on her. But when I got older, the only cat I had that I lived with when I was, you know, pretty young was, I called her Oreo. I found her at a dumpster, and she was black with white on her center, so she looked like an Oreo cookie, so I called her Oreo. E53, I need to put them on this side. E53 is going to be next. And we're going to take E53 and we're going to soften the edges of both the brown and the gray. So we're just going to go along those edges. It will just leave a small area for highlight, if any. And it's okay to do the gray area as well. I promise we're going to soften up those colors. We're just not to that point yet. It can look scratchy like this, but I prefer to make it look like a soft, fuzzy kitten. I missed with E23, I missed the under the eye, so I'm going to go back in real quick and soften those before we move on because I missed it. Okay, and now we have our E53 back in our hand. I also heard that Olo was going to be coming out with some new markers, like 90 something of them. For those of you who have those markers, I'm hoping they have more skin colors coming out, and maybe some more greens. Okay, this is the color that I'm going to use on this ear. So I used gray on this ear, but we are going to use E53 around the outside of this one. So I want one ear to look grayish and the other one to look more like this tan color. So I'm also going to do around this big black area right where that gray is. Now I've left some white areas, and that's fine because we need to, for our next color, have just a little bit of white areas. I also left some white area within this ear that we're going to use the next color on as well. So the next one is going to be E21. Spencer Public Library had one in book drop-off box. Aww. It's even a book, Dewey. Oh, who puts a cat in a book drop-off? This is E21, so I'm going to put a little bit of this E21 over my pink just to deepen that pink area. And then I'm going to go along and just kind of add a bit of this color, like around the edges, kind of soften up some of those areas where I put that brown. So I'm just kind of going over and extending a teeny bit from where I put the last color. And I'm going over a little bit of the gray as well, just to kind of soften that up a bit. And you can see it's starting to come together a little bit along the edges. I definitely want all the edges colored in at this point, because the next color is just going to be the highlight color for sure. And then we're going to sift back in and soften anywhere we need to soften. So I will show you that in just a moment because we're almost done. I'm going to soften that too. So already it looks so cute. We're not done yet though. All right, so the next color I have, and this is the last one, is E51. So this one is much lighter than all the others. I am going to do a little bit over the area that we colored with the other colors, just to kind of lighten that up. We're going to fill in those extra spots that didn't have any color. This will keep a little bit of really light color on there. And what we do, this is actually going to soften some of it, and then what we're going to do at the end is like go back in and soften anywhere that looks harsh. So we're going to finish the ear with this one. And I'm really laying that on pretty thick in the ear because I want to soften that pink color. Little paws. I mean, these cats and dogs are so cute. They make me so happy just coloring them, because they're so much fun. I mean, look how cute that cat is. So cute. All right, we're gonna go over a little bit more. So I'm gonna grab my T1 to soften anything in the grayish area. And I'm just gonna touch the meetup point. That's all I care about. Just the edge from the dark to the light to soften that up a little bit. I might need a little bit darker marker. Yep, we're going to need to use the T3 instead. The T1 is not doing the trick. So let's go to T3. And again, I'm just going along these edges, kind of softening that so there's not like a little harsh area. See how much that softens it up? I'm going to add just a little bit more back in here. Gonna soften these edges. And I'm not doing it in strokes. I'm kind of doing it in a little dotted motion because I don't want to wash out too much of the color. So I'm just kind of going in there and adding a little bit, trying to soften that up a little bit. See how it looks? It still looks a little splotchy, but it kind of brings it all together. There we go. It was kind of out of focus. Then we're going to come along here. We're going to add a little bit more over here because I feel like we don't have as much over there in that little area as I wanted. Gonna go over these, soften those up, really just softening those transition points. Yeah, do a little bit with this one because it kind of looks, and it kind of looks like we're extending it out a little bit into more gray than we have. But that's why as soon as we're finished with that, we're going to use our E51 one more time to soften up our browns. And I actually went into the ear, so we're gonna just put some color in there and make that go away. It's pretty easy to do. We may need the 53 on this one. Let's go ahead and use the 53 instead of the 51 because that's what we had to do with the gray, and I don't want to wash it out or we'll have to put more color back in. So let's do the 53. And we're just kind of going along those edges just like we did on the black, but we're going along them on the brown. And I use the dots just like I was talking about a little bit ago because I feel like it gives it a little bit better texture than just getting it that smooth color, but still softens it enough that it all kind of comes together. See how soft that looks? And it just comes right together and looks so adorable. I don't want to get too much up under the eye because I really like that light color in there. So I'm going to be pretty careful around that area. I mean, if there's something that you like, you don't want to mess with it. I hope you guys had a good weekend. I ended up driving 14 and a half hours on Sunday and through a 2-hour time change. So it was a really rough day getting back. I forgot about the big old time change and it just, I got home at 3 a.m. It was a bit challenging. Okay, so E51 was our lightest color, and I'm just going to touch those areas where the lightest is, like under the eye and around the eye, just so all the colors match up. There we go, right around this little eye. You just don't want to do too much E51 because it'll wash out the color. So only in the spots where I want the lightest color do I want to touch it. There we go. So cute. Let's zoom out just a teeny bit. See how cute that is? It's just so adorable. It makes me so happy. Now, while you guys are checking that out, I'm going to grab a couple of colors that we're going to use for the eyes because I think it'll just be really cute. It needs to have teal eyes, I think. So I am going to grab BG18, BG13, and BG10. And we're going to see how that goes. I haven't tested this, so we're just going to try it and see what happens. Okay, so the darkest color I'm going to put at the top. So you have to hold your marker upright so you can get really tiny brush strokes, and you're going to go along the top right here and just add a bit of this dark color. And when you do that, just try to end, like when you come down, let me see if I have a scrap I can show you. When you're coming down, just try to do it in like not even spots, okay? So the colors can mix together. And then we're gonna go along this side right here and do the same thing. I wanna make sure it's really dark at the top and then just kind of pans out from there. And if you get outside the lines, don't worry, you can fix it with the colorless blender, or you can just say the cat walked through paint. So you got no problems, super easy to fix. I mean, we really can make a cat any color we want because, you know, it's our cat. BG13 is next, and that's where we're going to soften that transition between that darkest color and this lighter color. And we're going to leave a small area for that BG10. And I want those eyes to look a bit glassy, so I like to use a really light color on one side. and darker at the top. So we may have to go back in and deepen up that color, but we'll just see when we get done. I like these little cat eyes to look very glossy. So I'm gonna do this one, just really light up under here. It's not gonna be too dark, it's gonna stay fairly light. It looks like I missed a spot right there. But you'll notice, see, it looks really, really pretty right now. But let me just show you. I would go back in again with the darkest color so that it gets a little bit more pop. And I would go over the top dark area one more time. Just to deepen that up. I think I need a little bit more on this side. There we go. And it's kind of wet right now, so can't see it quite as well. Okay, I'm going to use my multi-liner because you guys know I love to color in the black part of the eyes so they really stand out. So I'm going to turn this just a little bit, and I'm using a 0.35 multi-liner, but you can really use any one you want. And don't worry if you go over the white areas because you can put it back in with white gel pen. But I think it makes a big difference when you color in those eyes. So look at the difference between the right eye and the left eye. Just putting in that black color on the right eye makes such a big difference. And it's really important to me to make that pop. I like my eyes to pop. So I just color that in, and I will do the white gel pen, but I want it to dry. Now, don't those eyes just look so glassy and beautiful? I really like that. If you want the whiskers to show up more, you could use the multi-liner for that. But I'm okay with them not showing up quite all that much. I want the eyes to be what really pops on the image. So I'm going to leave mine just like that. And then we'll do the white gel pen in a minute. But I need a lot of space to do this project we're going to do. So I had to move the markers out of the way. So tonight, this cutie patootie is done. But we're going to actually make something tonight to put this cute cat on. So I just use my little tweezers to lift it up off of this sticky mat. Because the first time you put it on, it's really sticky. So I'm just kind of filtering that up underneath and peeling it off of my sticky mat. See? Perfectly fine. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to cover it back up so I can use it again another time. I love these sticky mats and they're only $1.25, so it's awesome. Okay, let's pull our crafty supplies out. So I have some of it pre-cut. And those of you who have been following me for a really long time have seen me do this before. And those that are fairly new have not. So we're just going to go ahead and do it. So this little piece right here we're going to use in just a minute. And it's going to go like this. So I'm going to stamp on it. I'm going to stamp the little mouse on that because we are going to use that on our project. And you'll see in just a minute. So the mouse stamp set is it's a solid mouse. So when we stamp it, it'll be just a complete little solid. But look at how perfect it's going to be. It's going to fit just right in there. So I'm going to use my VersaFine Claire. And then I'm just going to stamp it right in this little area right here. Just want to make sure I get it in there. Yay! So cute. I do like these extra little stamps. I hope you guys are enjoying them as well. I like to have those, you know, just additional little, I can't wait to create a background with these little mice or the little diamonds. I just like to have a few little extras in my stamp set. And since I get to fill in the spaces, I might as well, right? Just fill them right in with some extras for you guys. I said before that I probably wasn't going to do holiday-ish, like Halloween or Christmas or anything like that stamps, because we're trying to build more in the shop. But you guys, I love Halloween, so I'm trying to talk Dale into letting me do a few more sets. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what he says. See if he agrees. Okay, so I am going to, this is actually a die cut I made a long time ago, and it opens up like this. It actually die cuts. Let me just give you the measurement of this. It die cuts this paper, which is about 8 inches across and about 5.5 wide. And then it puts these score lines in there. So there's a score line here, and then you can fold this, and there's a score line here. So we just fold on those 2 score lines, so you kind of have a binding here. So it looks like a book a little bit. One side is longer than the other, and it is supposed to be that way. And then there's another score line. It's hard for you guys to see, but it runs right down the middle. And then there's 2 cuts right here. And what we do is we fold on the score line, so 2 go in and 1 pops out. See how that goes? 2 go in, 1 pops out. See? So it was designed just to do that exact thing for you, so you don't have to do all of the cutting. I loved this die set. It might come back one day, let me just tell you. When I design dies, I want it to give you all the dies for the accent papers as well. So all you got to do is die cut and you're done. So I'm not going to glue this together just yet because we need to put the accent papers on the outside. And I need to cut them because I didn't want to use the ones I already had cut. And it's going to hold a sticky note pad, so I have one handy right there. I want my cat, I actually want to do a solid color first so that I can map the colors. So I'm going to see real quick if I have a solid color that'll match. Like that's kind of blue, not really teal. Let me just see if I have a scrap in here that I can use. I guess I don't. I went through my scraps the other day, you guys, and I got rid of a bunch of them. So I don't have one that matches that. So I'm just going to grab, ta-da! I think that one works. Just going to grab a new sheet and cut that. So what I need is I need a solid color that is 3 1/8 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and do my 5 1/4 first. Oh, my husband fixed my trimmer. I'm so happy. And 3 1/8. So that's the second little notch because mine shows 16ths. So the second little notch, I'm going to put that there. Okay, so I have one. I'm going to do one more, just so I have one for the front and one for the back. And then this is just extra paper. Now, for the pattern paper on top, I just want that pattern paper to be 1/8 of an inch smaller. So what I'm going to do is take this and I'm going to cut it. I want the words to be correct. So we did, we cut that other one at 3 1/8 by 5 1/4. So I'm just going to cut this at 3 inches, which is great because this is a 6-inch paper. So I now have 2 of them. So I have one for the front, one for the back. And then I'm going to cut this one in 5 1/8 because we did the base paper at 5 1/4. So 5 1/8. So I have a couple of extra little papers here. I'm going to save those because you can just use these papers so often. And I had this one out because I like this one so much. I couldn't decide if I wanted to do that as the base or I don't know. I think we'll go with that. And then I have an extra scrap paper here. And I think I'm going to use that as an accent paper. So I'm going to cut that. I only need it for the front. I don't need it for the back. So I'm going to cut that at the 3 inches as well. So it'll fit across the front panel like this because I want to use it for my kitten. Okay. So I already knew those are what I wanted to do. I have a Velcro right here. Velcro handy. And we're going to use that in order to open and close our book. But when you do, this is the longer side is the back, the shorter side is the front. So we're going to start with the back. And I want to put this actually comes as a die as well. It's rounded on the corners and then it has 2 score lines. You fold it like this and it makes your hinge. So like that. So we're going to flip it over and we're going to put it here. That way we can cover it up with the pattern paper that we're going to use. And we know our mouse is going to be in the right direction. So I'm very happy about that. So I'm just going to put some glue on here. Now you could do this with magnets if you really, really wanted to. It's entirely up to you. If you wanted to put magnets under there instead of putting the Velcro. But for ease of purpose, we're going to use the Velcro tonight. Okay. So now we can turn it right side up so you can actually see it. We're going to take this paper and we're going to center it. There's going to be a space right here and that's okay. Just make sure you're centering it on these 3 sides with that 1/4 inch around the edge. You could make it longer if you wanted. I like it like this because it represents where the pen's going to go and you'll see that when we get done. It probably doesn't make any sense right now because you haven't seen this, but when I get done, it'll make a lot of sense. So we're going to put this one over top of this so it holds it down, keeps it secure, and you can't see the makings of what you did. So I like that. I like to hide my edges so no one can see where I attached things and it just looks more professionally done. So that's the way I like to do it. Now on the other side, this is the front side. We have to put our pattern paper on the front side as well. I just refilled my glue and it looks like it's oozing a little. So I'm going to have to release the air here in a minute, which also could be because of the travel. So just center it on there. It fits in there perfectly with a little bit of a border around it. I'm just going to relieve, there we go, the pressure. Because sometimes it'll ooze out right after you fill it because it has a pressure buildup. But you just have to open it up and like relieve that little bit of pressure. And it'll stop doing it. Okay, so we're going to flip this over because we know This is going to be the front. We're going to decorate like that. And then this is going to fold over and it's going to have our little mouse on it. It's going to be so cute. So I'm going to lay it down like this so I can finish decorating the front. I do want to know exactly where this is going to come across the front, because that's important for me for deciding where to put my kitten and where to put my stuff. So one of these is going to go on the back. So I'm just going to, I debated putting this on the back, because then it would be the cats on the front. Or if I just wanted to put the cats on the back and the front. I don't know. I'll just put the cats, just because they're cute. I love this paper too. I'm loving designing paper. I think it's so much fun. I hope you guys are liking the paper too. If anybody has any requests, you can always feel free to make requests for Thursday. If there's a certain dog or cat you want colored, or maybe an alien, or maybe a superhero, we can totally do any of that. Or anything else for that matter. I'm very open. Now we're going to put this other one on the front. And what this does is you don't have to use really heavy duty paper for the base of this, because adding these extra layers on the top and the bottom make it super sturdy. So I'm using 65 pound on the base cardstock, and then these are 80 pound accent sheets. So they are definitely, both of them are 80 pound, both of the papers. So it makes it quite thick, and you don't really have to worry about, you know, the base being so thick as well. Okay, so when we close up the book, the mouse is going to be about right here. So what I want it to look like is that the mouse ran across the floor. See how that goes? That's how I want to do it. And then I'm trying to decide if I want my cat on the light teal or the dark. I think maybe the dark. So I'm going to put it on there like this. So we're going to put some glue on here. I think we're going to wobble our kitty too, so it can watch the mouse run across. Oh, I didn't close my glue all the way. That causes an issue for sure. See the big blob of glue that went everywhere? Let me just get this on here, and then I'm going to clean up my fingers because I have a mess going on. I want that mouse to run across the floor. And don't worry, I have another bottle of glue, so I can just take care of that one later. If Dale were out here, he could help me, but he isn't. So I'm on my own. Oh, such a bummer. I highly suggest not doing that. Glue-nado, yes, for sure. I would highly suggest being a little more careful with your glue than I was. The cool part I like about the Barely Art glue, though, is all we have to do is rub our hands together and the glue just kind of dissipates, and then it's, you know, gone. And when you get it on your table, if you just do this, it doesn't get sticky. It just rubs right off. And then, there you go. And it's not sticky at all. So I love that about the glue. And by the way, it works really good with kids. So when Cooper comes over, if he gets glue everywhere, then I just rub my hands with his and it just goes away. What is the tool you use to flatten your card after you glued? Oh, this, it's called a soda press. It looks like a soda can because I love Coke. Coca-Cola, by the way. And there's a mat. Mine's a little dirty right now. I haven't cleaned it lately, but it's got this mat on here. It's very small, so it fits. See how small it is? It fits in my hand, so it travels really nicely. And what it does is it spreads the glue and gets a really good hold on your paper. So I use it all the time. You can also use it to like as a bone folder if you want. You can use it to like burnish the edges. So you can do that. Yeah, I use it for a lot of stuff. I just use it all the time. And I really like it. So yeah, we have them in the shop in teal, purple, pink, multicolored. Yes, we do. This is the multicolor. So when you turn it around, see how it's like pink, green, blue. It kind of has, depending on which way you hold it, it has like a really cool look to it. I'm going to put my little kitten up here and I'm going to put it on a wobble because I just think that would be so much fun. So I had a wobble on my desk. Yes, I love that soda press, and what I love even more about it is that it's travel size, so you can just take it with you. Teal or purple, yep, either one. I'm going to use this little wobble. We don't have wobbles in our shop, but I got these wobbles from Scrappy Boy when I was at the expo. And you put the full solid on your project, and you put the open one on your image that you want to wobble. So I'm going to just lift this sticky part off. And there are other companies that sell these. I just got mine at Scrappy Boy. And then I'm going to stick that to my cat. Just like that. So if I just hold it here, you'll be able to see it. It's going to work. And then on the back, I'm going to peel off the back panel using my tweezers, which I use my tweezers for so much stuff. There we go. And that bottom panel piece is clear, so you can't really see it when you put it on your card. It's kind of see-through. So I'm going to take my little cat. Probably should have put the white gel pen on before I did this, but it's all is good. All is good. So I'm going to set it down right here. I'm going to press it down. And then I'm just going to take this and I'm going to press that piece that attaches to the card, that clear piece that you can see through. I'm just going to give it some extra presses so it doesn't pop off, you know. Once you get it on there really good, you don't have any problems. But look, it's already like, woohoo! And then I did cut a sentiment to put on there. It says, "You're the cat's meow." And I think I'm going to put that down here at the bottom of the wood. And of course, we're going to bling it up. You know, we got to bling it up. So I filled both my glue bottles, so they both have a lot of glue in them. So I learned this little trick from, like, I can't remember if it was Trinity or if it was Riley and Company, or I can't remember. One of those from the paper cans. I wobble, but they don't fall down. I know, I love that. I love that saying. Okay, so now we have the basic parts of the front of our card, which was the biggest task. Now I'm going to show you how this comes together here. So we built this little thing I call a table. See how it looks like a table? It's like flat on this side, and then there's like a shelf right here. So on the flat part, right here and right here, that's where you put the glue. On both sides. Nothing in the middle, okay? Now we're going to fold this over. And I'm going to use this press again, just to press this together really good. You're going to give it a second for the glue to adhere. You could use double-sided sticky tape, But I find that the Barely Art glue works just fine. It's very sturdy and it holds things very well. And I'm not pressing hard. I'm just rubbing multiple times because I want to make sure it stays. And then once you have that glued, you just press this up. And now you have the slot for your pen. That's where your pen will go. And then you open up this. And as you can see, they're glued down. And you take a sticky note pad. This is actually half of a sticky note pad. You can put the whole thing in there, half or whatever. But I love these notepads because I take a lot of notes. And you can use the sticky to put it in there, or you can glue the back. It's up to you. But when the stickies are gone, you can just add some more. So you can always reuse this sticky notepad, which I love. Now you're saying it in your head. I got it stuck in your head. Then you take one of these little Velcros. So it has, there's a soft side and a scratchy side. So this is the soft fuzzy side. This is the scratchy side. Okay. So I'm going to put them together. And I'm going to put the soft side on this. We want the scratchy side on here because that's what's going to have the most pull is the scratchy side. And we want that to stay on the most sturdy part. So I put them together. I peel off the plastic on the soft side of the Velcro. And then I add it right here to my tab. This is so you don't have to line anything up. You peel off the back side. You hold your page so it's all lined up perfectly, exactly how you want it. I want to make sure it's right. And then you fold this over and you press it down. And then it's closed. And now you can play with your cute little cat. You can pull the Velcro off. You open it up and you have a sticky notepad. You could put some stuff on the inside if you wanted. And then all you need is a little pen. Like, let me see if I have one over here that we can use. I gotta have a teal one. Come on now. I know I have a teal one. I just don't know where it is. I got green and pink and blue and yellow and all the colors. So we're just gonna use pink. So I have these fat pens. They don't fit in there because they have that rubber thing right here. So you need a pen that's just like a regular pen, so to speak. And I don't know if I have any of those, unfortunately, in my craft room because I use all the erasable pens. But I bet it would take my, I bet it would hold my multi-liner pen. So this is a little art liner Spectrum Noir pen, and it will fit right down in there. You just need to give it a little bit of space. It takes a little bit the first 1 or 2 times you put it in there, but once you get it in there, it perfectly fits. That is a great gift for somebody. Remember when you did a class on this? I love this notebook. You need to make a die cut and sell them. Yes, I did have one, and in fact, this one was cut with a die cut when I was with another company, but you can't get them anymore, unfortunately. But I really want to make this one again because not that people can't cut it themselves, you can, but it's so much quicker to just die cut it because I could die cut the front and back panels at the same time with the die that I had. Is awesome. So now we have this cute little notepad. Isn't this just the cutest? And I love the little mouse. Like he's missing the mouse and look, he's chasing the mouse. It's so cute. But you know, I'm a bling person, so we gotta have some bling. So I am gonna pull out my bling container. And what I want to tell you guys about my bling container, do you want to hear this story? Because if you liked this, you're going to want to hear this story. So this is my bling holder, okay? It's in that same multicolor. I put these rubber bands on it and I took it to Arizona when I went to the show. And it got all shook around and everything. And then I brought it home, and then you open it. So you just need 2 rubber bands on it. I just used hair clips. And then when you open it up, everything is still in the place it's supposed to be. None of them went into another container. They're all exactly where they're supposed to be. And that is because of the way that the lid is made. So you can buy it with the lid or without the lid. I wanted to put a couple of these on my project. So you saw it last time. You loved that too? Yeah. I mean, we sell it in sets of 3 because I like 3. That works for me, but 1 holds 7 items, so it's perfect. But I've now tested it to 2 different locations I went to, and I literally just threw it in my bag, and it was completely fine the whole time, and it makes me so happy that it works. So I have these dots right here. I love these dots. These are the ones we're going to use today. They have glitter in them. They have a light blue tint, and they have glitter in them, so they match perfectly with this paper. And we make these in the shop as well. These are not from China. They're not from any other company. No one else has them. We actually make them here at our house. So our production is here. And they come in 3 sizes. There's the large, which is 6 millimeter. And then there's the medium, which is 5 millimeter. And then the small, which is 3 millimeter. It just looks like this one. And you get about 90 something of them when you get them in the shop. And we have lots of different colors. So check them out because I really like them. Good night, Mama. I know it's really late for you up there in Pennsylvania. Oh, you like the duck? I know. I'm trying to get Dale to make those for the shop. It might take a look. I have a little dinosaur too. We want to make them, but we've had a little bit of drama with the pins. I haven't had any problems at all. They do not rust. They're perfectly fine. But we had one person who had an issue, and so it's hard to sell it until we have been able to test it enough to know that's not going to happen. And we're working on that because I love my little toppers. I mean, I love, love, love them. And we can do them in all different kinds of designs. So you see the duck. We've done dinosaurs, bears. What else do you have? You have Mickey heads, don't you?
No, I don't.
We have a Mickey head. We have the Mickey head that you could make if you wanted, because we bought the thing. There we go. I don't know why I'm having trouble with that. And I don't know why my mind doesn't go straight to picking these up with this, because it's so much easier. But sometimes my head just doesn't go there. And then I use my soda press just to press them in there one more time, just for good measure.
They come in a mixed set of sizes.
Yeah, they come in a mixed set. Yep, they do. You get all 3 of those sizes in your set, and they're pretty equal. They're pretty evenly distributed, but I think they're a little bit heavier on the medium size because that's my favorite size. And I find that most of the time I use the large ones for special occasions, and I use the little teeny ones for special times. But most of the time my go-to is the medium one. And everyone always gives you either equal or they give you more of those teeny tiny ones, and that drives me crazy. So when we made them, I told Dale we needed to have more of the medium size, because I always run out of the medium and then I have to buy another set, and I have a whole bunch of the other sizes left. So that's the way that we built them. But you get a bunch. You get them, just get them in a little Ziploc baggie. They fit in your little set right here. I decided to put a couple more of these on just because it's fun that way. I'm going to put the bigger one on here. Yeah, so, and you can get them, and they're pretty inexpensive. How much are they, honey? Like,
$4 for the pack.
they're $4, and you get 90 something of them, so you can use them for so long. That's your favorite size, medium, too. See? Perfect. Oh, you like this? I love this. I'm going to be using it, too, by the way. I'm going to be taking all my little notes in it, because I have a few note-taking things I got to do. And so that's why I was like, ooh, I'll make that tonight, because then I can use it. And that makes it perfect. So then all I do is put this back on, and then I can use it as a little table. I put my other stuff on it when it's on my desk, and it doesn't suck up too much space. But while I have you guys' attention, let me show you this really cute thing I got at the expo. I just can't wait. Okay, you guys know how I always like to cut with my X-Acto knife. And I usually get this big mat out, like this big black mat this is the one that blue. This is the one that I was using for a long time. But look what I found at the expo. Is that not the cutest little self-healing cutting mat you've ever seen? Look how tiny that is. It's smaller than the notebook, look. And I've already used it a bunch of times. I'm so happy with that purchase. And it's such a silly little thing. But I love it. Anyway, I got it at the Tall Mouse. I just thought it's so cute. And they had it all different colors. And I was like, the girl that I was with, Christina, she was laughing at me. She's like, what are you even going to use that? I was like, yes, I am. And I do. Because look, if I was going to cut out something from the cat, like if I was going to cut that, it fits perfectly on there. It's so perfect. I love it. So anyway, this was one of my favorite little purchases. Not that I didn't purchase a whole lot of stuff, but anyway, that's all I have for tonight. Purple, yes, that's my favorite color. That's all I have for tonight. So definitely come back on Thursday. We'll do something else. This is the cat set that we just used. I love the little bones and the little... This one, I swear, I did for this this frou-frou cat right here. So yeah, we'll color up some more of these. Maybe we'll do dogs on Thursday. Yeah, so I would love to see you guys back on Thursday. It would be awesome to have because you only cut small things. That's right. I only cut small things. And it doesn't take up space. So, yeah, definitely.
Which means that you'll misplace it, lose it.
I will not misplace it. Thank you, Barbara. And I'm so glad you're here. It's so nice to have all you guys here that come regularly. Yay. So, I love you guys, and I'll see you on Thursday at 8 Central. Good night.